I didn't want to go in an ambulance. That was the last thing I wanted to do. The last thing I wanted to do was fall down the stairs. Hey, what's up YouTube? It's Cyn coming at you with another video. So you obviously notice right now that I am not in my normal setting. I don't have a wall behind me. I'm in the open air and fresh air of a field right by my house. So today's story time is about the time that I fell down the stairs at school. So it happened on a Monday, and this Monday was very, very special. The reason being was because of that Friday, we found out that there was a bomb threat written on one of our bathroom walls at school. So I already didn't want to go to school on Monday, but you know, stuff happens, and I had to go. So this happened between my 6th and 7th period. Alright, so I was leaving my 6th period, which at the time was geometry, and I was so happy to finally be leaving it. So I was leaving the class, and my school is 3 stories, so I was walking from the 3rd story down to the 2nd story, and there's a platform in the middle of the stairs, and then there's the final platform on the 2nd story. So I was on the very top step on the 3rd floor, and I got my foot kicked from underneath me. We could not see who it was on the footage because there were too many people. My foot was kicked from underneath me, and I tumbled down to the middle platform. I fell down 15 stairs. So once I finally fell down 15 stairs, I made sure I didn't hit my head. All everybody else did was just like look and walk past me. Well, this girl helped me up, and I said, "Oh, thank you." And I guess I had so much adrenaline from that I was able to get to the closest teacher's room that I knew of, which was one of my favorite teachers. So my teacher wasn't standing outside his door like he usually was, so I had the closest person who I knew was standing out there, and I said, "Hey, can you go get this teacher?" And she walks in. She sees that I'm crying because it just landed all on this side, so all along my right side was severely bruised and red, and you could see it through everything. Okay, so I had fallen down the stairs, and I had got my friend to go get the teacher because she was standing right outside the door talking to one of our other friends. And the teacher comes out, and I explain to him what happens, and the quickest way I can, because I'm in severe pain at this point, I'm on the verge of bawling. And my boyfriend, who usually would meet up with me, was just walking past the point where we would meet, because he knew something was off when I wasn't there, and walked down to the teacher's room. So he finds me there, and the final bell had just rung for it to be 7th period. So the teacher tells my boyfriend, my friend who got the teacher, and some other people that I knew around me, and my teacher told them to take me down to the nurse's office. So they tried picking me up in the easiest way they could, but I was in so much pain because of my hip and my knee, just my whole right side, but mostly my hip, that they could not pick me up anyway without me being in severe pain. So I had to go sit back in the classroom of the teacher, which it kind of helped to be sitting and stationary instead of being moved around. So I have to go sit back in the teacher's room, and okay, so I'm back in the teacher's room, and the teacher is trying so hard to get like the administrators and the nurse to come down, because at this point it was an emergency. At this point I'm sitting in the teacher's room, and I'm in severe pain from my hip, and the teacher is calling everybody else because it's considered an emergency and nobody is coming. So he had to call multiple times for them to be like, oh crap, there's something really wrong. We need to go to, his classroom and get the student. So finally, after about 10 minutes, I'm sitting down, I'm bawling because I'm in so much pain. I'm scraped up, I'm bleeding, I'm bruising really, really bad. They finally come with the wheelchair. So they're finally here with the wheelchair. And everybody around me is explaining what's going on and why I'm in so much pain. And they're like, okay, well, we need to get her into this wheelchair. And I had to have like 3 different campus advisors pick me up in a certain way where it still hurt, but it didn't hurt as bad, and set me in the wheelchair. So it took 3 campus advisors just to get me in the wheelchair. And then we were going towards the elevator, and there were these bumps along the way. And I have never felt this amount of pain before in my life, to the point where as they were going over the bumps, it felt like a million people with hammers were hitting my hip and my knee every time we would go over a bump. So we were finally getting to the elevator, which is about 15 to 20 feet from the classroom. And so we're finally in the elevator, and it's very bumpy, and I can feel everything. I'm bawling my eyes out. My boyfriend's on the phone with my mom, and my mom is calling my dad to come get me. And they take me into the nurse's office. They also called down the sports medicine trainer, who was also our biomedical teacher too. So he was always working close with EMTs and stuff like that. But even he knew at this point that he wasn't going to be able to do anything. So the next thing you know, they call the ambulance. And this is the part where everybody knows. Because they call the ambulance, and it's like, I didn't want to go in an ambulance. That was the last thing I wanted to do. The last thing I wanted to do was fall down the stairs. But everybody thinks I did it for attention. Yes, I wanted to fall down 15 stairs. 15. I wanted to hurt myself that bad. So the EMTs come with the ambulance, and I have to call up my mom and have them give the EMTs the okay to take me from school to the hospital. And so she's like, yeah, all right, because my dad has a Ford Ranger, and that only seats 2. So my dad and my boyfriend are following behind, and I'm sitting in the ambulance, and this is so funny. For the first time, I actually remember my social security number. So we finally arrive at the hospital, and they take me through triage, and the doctor looks at me, and the EMTs explain what happened. They explain where my pain is, and the doctor puts her hand just even lightly over my kneecap on my right side, and I'm already screaming in pain. Yes, I was screaming in pain. So they take me through triage. I get my x-rays and everything, and they find nothing really wrong with my hip or anything else. So they were really concerned about my knee, and they were right to be concerned about my knee, because I ended up partially tearing my ACL, but nobody at the hospital knew that. I had to go to my orthopedic doctor to find that out, and they were like, yeah, you might have to get surgery. And I was like, oh, great. But luckily I didn't have to get surgery for that. There was nothing else wrong with my hip. I just had to go to my chiropractor. There was nothing else wrong with my arm or my ankle or anything. They just bandaged me up and sent me on my way. But because of my knee, I had to go through rigorous physical therapy, and it was horrendous. So I avoided surgery, but I still have really bad weakness in my knee from it. So, you win some, you lose some. But yep, that's my story of the time that I fell down the stairs at school. Well, I got pushed, but everybody thinks I fell down on purpose because yes, I wanted to go in an ambulance and I wanted to be on crutches for 2 weeks and in physical therapy for about 2 months. Yeah, that was my plan. Well, this is Cyn. I'm signing off, but don't forget to like and subscribe to see more content like this, along with daily vlogs, beauty, get ready with me, and just more story time. So, bye.